In Hebrew, one of my favorite words is the word kanaf, which means wing, or knafaim, which is plural for wings. And the word is actually so special because everywhere in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, we can see that it specifically talks about the corner of a garment, like a corner of a piece of clothing. But in Hebrew, it's called the wing of the garment. And then in the story of Ruth and Boaz, it specifically says that Ruth went up to Boaz and told him to spread the wing of his garment over her because he is a guardian redeemer of their family. And it's even more special because later we can see that God himself says, I will throw the corner of my garment over the nation of Israel. And then even later on in the New Testament, we can see that it specifically says that the woman who was bleeding for 12 years went and grabbed onto the wing of Yeshua, of Jesus's garment, which helped her to eventually obviously be healed and stop bleeding, because Jesus said, and then I felt power coming out of me. What makes this so cool is that when we look later at Malachi 4:2, it specifically says that for those who revere my name, God's name, the Son, S-U-N, of righteousness will rise with healing in his wings. And that wing is literally the wing of the garment of Yeshua, Boaz, and God, which we can see that when we are in dire needs, what we need to grab onto is the wing of God's garment, of Jesus' garment, which in Hebrew is actually known as tzitzit, which equals 613, which is the actual amount of commandments in Hebrew, and is kind of the piece of garment that they needed to wear to remember the law, also known as the Tanakh, the Torah, and the Word of God. So when we actually need to be healed or restored in certain areas, we need to spend time in the Word of God, and we need to continue holding on to the wings of Yeshua.